Hola, hola, it's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the podcast. This episode is a really special one. I ended up doing a webinar this past weekend for people who are really struggling with speaking out and standing up right now confidently. As you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, which is really a marathon. I want to call it a marathon because a movement is something that we think maybe is happening for a little while. We put a black square on our Instagram and that's it. I want to invite you to think about this as a marathon, something you can't sprint with, something that we need you to continue staying with, that you rest, you get back up, and you stay in the fight. And I believe we need all hands on deck for this. And so I have been really doing everything I can on my end with my influence, with my podcast, with my community, with my sisterhood women, my clients, everyone, everywhere, really figuring out what I can do to stand up, speak out, and share. How I can let go of getting it wrong and the opinion of others so that I can confidently speak my truth and my voice and influence good. Because if you know me, you've been following me, you've been on this podcast for a while, you know that I don't hold back and that I speak what I feel and that I am about justice. And I talk a lot about everything I believe in, not only matters of race, but also the child sex trafficking and how horrible that is and how we can help and contribute. You know, I share about my sexual abuse. I share about everything. I don't hold back. And so this is no different. And for me, growing up in America, being from Boston, being Puerto Rican, growing up in the ghetto, I understand what goes on in America, yet there's so much more I need to understand. And I live in Australia. I make money in this country. I work here. I love it here. My children are from here. My husband is from here. And I know nothing about the Black Lives Matter movement in Australia. Not anymore. I do know stuff about it now because this week I've been researching and connecting with amazing Aboriginal women who are fucking incredible. But what I want to tell you is that it's not good enough to say you don't know. It's not good enough to say you don't have the confidence to say anything, so you look away. And I know that we are one humanity, we are one collective, and we cannot do this alone. We need everybody to come together. And there is something that you can do, and there is something that I can do, and there is something that all of us can do. And so in today's episode, I'm basically letting you into our webinar, our audio recording version of our webinar that we held. And if you're interested and you want to watch this webinar, please email us, support@thequeenofconfidence.com. I would be happy to send you the link of this replay. My husband was on board with me sharing about his insights into it as a meditation teacher, as a coach, as somebody who's lived in Australia all his life and has had issues with racism because of his brown skin. And it was an incredible, incredible sacred time that we had together with many people online from different parts of the world. And I hope that you take something away from this message. And I hope that it is that you are not going to get it right and you're not going to be perfect and that we don't need perfection. We need you to stand up. We need you to speak out. We need you to let go of the opinion of others and try to get it right. Because we won't get it right. That's the whole point. We're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, as long as we say we made a mistake and we correct ourselves and we're willing to learn and expand and grow and be better as a collective. And so I really hope that this serves you today, and I thank you so much for being here. As people keep joining in, we're just going to get started because we have an hour today. And really the intention of this is to create a safe space so you all know that you're safe with us here, and a place where we can learn how to be a part of this much needed movement and conversation that's going on in the world. So I just really quickly want to acknowledge you and thank you for being here. I'm really, really grateful that you chose to be here, and you being here means that you want to be a part of this and means that you are looking for answers and ways that you can become a part of this conversation. And I really acknowledge you for that. So welcome. So for those that don't know me, my name is Erica. I'm a confidence coach. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm originally from Boston. My heart is fucking breaking with what's going on back home in my country. I'm Puerto Rican, so, person of color. Hamish is
Australian,
Sri Lankan.
but I'm Sri Lankan as
yeah.
Sri Lankan background.
Yep. So as a confidence coach, the work I do is really to help women to stand in their voice and claim confidence and let go of trying to get it right and the opinion of others. So I could not do something like this. I could not, like, it was coming out of me. But this is important for me to say, because in this webinar and this training, I'm not a confidence coach for women. I'm a confidence coach for the world. I feel like right now we all need to come together. That's why Hamish is here, in case we get any guys that join us. Usually I work with women, but this conversation is for all people who want to get involved and may feel like they're worried, they're scared, they don't know what to say, they don't know how to say it. We want to give you some tools today to be able to be a part of this conversation, because we have no choice. Like, this is, we need everybody, all hands on deck. And you can introduce yourself, Mr. Kramer.
Well, I'm obviously Erica's husband. I'm a coach as well for men, and I'm also a healer and shamanic practitioner. So I do a lot of work with men in that respect, feeling their emotions, coming back and healing the energetic body. So that's my work. I'm a meditation teacher as well, because I find that meditation is definitely a great segue or gateway to a lot of these things that we're trying to achieve today. So while Erica will definitely be here to give you tools on how to be more confident, I may be here to offer some advice on how to become more centered as well, and more peaceful during this time, because I did a meditation only a couple of moments ago. And, a lot of this stuff that we're going through can be quite heavy, and you can't engage with it 24/7 as well. I was telling Erica, sometimes it's good to be passionate about these things and talk, and maybe some of your businesses are online, and so you're feeling the need to express and talk and have these discussions and learn. But sometimes that can be quite exhausting as well and overwhelming. And there does need to be a period of taking a step back and unplugging and getting back into nature or back into your body so that you can recharge. Many of the things that we're talking about they're going to take some time. It's a long term, it's a marathon, and we can't sprint to the end. So in order for that to happen, we need all of us to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves inside of that. And for me, meditation or self-care is essential in order to keep moving forward. Otherwise, our emotions will overwhelm us, and then our emotions and our reactions are what ends up on social media or with our families and friends or colleagues. That's, we're out of sorts. We're not in alignment with ourselves. So a part of today will be, I guess, just discussing how to make sure that you're in alignment with yourself and your values, and then, doing that in a confident way. Yes.
Thank you. So really quickly, I want to acknowledge our Black people. I want to acknowledge our people of color. I want to acknowledge our Aboriginal people, our First Nations people. I want to acknowledge you if you're on this call, if you want to speak, if you have something to say, if you want to share. Safe space for you as well. I would love to hear. So just unmute yourself. Let's make this a conversation. I acknowledge all of us for coming together and understanding that this is a moment where we need to speak out. And this is a moment where, it is about the Black Lives Matters movement. But for me, if you know me and you work with me, for me, I'm about justice in general, all justice. This isn't a trend thing. This is who we need to become this. And if you've identified yourself that in your life or in your business or in your family, justice and caring for people all over the world has not been a part of the threads of your home or the threads of your life, your values and your clothing, then I definitely recommend that we take this moment here today for you to start, and we're going to give you some actionable tools, but for you to start implementing this in your life, in your business, in your friend circles. I know I said to Hamish myself, I've got Latin women on my podcast. I don't have any Black ladies on my podcast. I haven't done that, and I need to do better in that. I don't know anything about the Aboriginal land here. I don't know about the culture. I need to do better with that. So these are the areas where even me, a person of color who comes from America and who thinks I understand, there's so much more. So if you're white and if you don't understand any of it, like, there's more to do. There's more for me to do. There's more for Hamish to do. There's more for all of us to do. And so I really am so happy that we're able to have this amazing conversation. And if you want to chat in the chat box, please feel free. I think we've got people from everywhere on this call today, and it is being recorded, so we will send replays. And if you're watching the replay, let us know, chat in the box as well. So I feel one of the things that I thought in my business that I could do was create this, because I feel that we are being called to confidence right now. I feel like you're either not going to say anything and you're going to pretend to be quiet and be really uncomfortable and be worried about people noticing how quiet you are, or you're going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak out however I can. And so I feel like it's a really hectic time because we can't hide. You know, it's never been, it's almost like God, universe, whoever you believe in is going, I know you don't believe in yourself, but I need you to, and I'm going to force you to right now. Like, which I think is so exciting. Thank you, 2020. Like, this is the year of all of this right now. So doing so, being called to confidence, being called to speak out and say something, I feel like it's about being, and I don't know if you saw, some of you may have saw my video on Instagram where it was like letting go of the fear and letting go of the guilt, because it is not going to help you or me or anybody in this moment and in this movement. It is about letting go of fear and letting go of guilt and stepping into courage and stepping into awareness. One of our students in our sisterhood said to us, you know, people need to acknowledge their emotions and acknowledge their guilt and sit in their emotions. And I disagreed with the word guilt. I think I'm using the word guilt, and instead of guilt, I'm using awareness. So I'm replacing the word guilt with awareness, right? So up to you how you want to, but it's important that we do also acknowledge how we may feel. So I think you were saying something about if somebody does feel bad that they've been acting a certain way or that they didn't know about their privilege.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I mean, we were talking about guilt and guilt of privilege, and there's two prongs to this process. You have to acknowledge the emotion. And I think with me, obviously working with men, the biggest thing that we tend to do is not acknowledge the emotion. We go straight to the solution. So there has to be a acknowledging of the emotions. I feel guilt, I feel angry, I feel resentful, I'm pissed off, whatever it is. The key from there, which me and Erica were discussing from, is what you do from then on, from that point. Once you've acknowledged the emotion, once you've felt it, and you can express it and feel it in many ways. Obviously, we don't want to be taking those feelings of guilt or anger or resentments at another person, because that's not fair, but acknowledging and feeling your emotions first. But the second part of it is then what do you do? And often what we're seeing is some people getting locked into the emotion. I feel guilt, I feel guilt, I feel guilt, and they keep perpetuating the guilt. Take a moment and feel the emotion, acknowledge it, feel it in whichever way you feel is a positive way to feel it. We're not denying people's emotions, but also getting stuck in those heavier, lower emotions doesn't help anybody either. Because while I compare it to anger. It's like something can get me angry and I can direct that anger positively. But if I stay in that anger, then that anger actually ends up affecting me. It ends up being like a poison that I'm drinking. But if I can experience the anger, acknowledge the anger, invite it in, direct it appropriately, then I can create space inside of me because I've acknowledged those feelings. Now there's room for me to go, okay, now that I've expressed that and understand that emotion, how can I use my brain to now understand this better, to change the way that I've been living, to alter my behavior, to alter the way that I've been thinking, to change my relationships, to change my community, and maybe change the world. So, you know, first comes the emotion, and then comes the way that we can then process that emotion and change our lives. And some of us are getting stuck in either end of those. We're either not acknowledging the emotion, or we're getting stuck in the thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And that's been fueled by an emotion that hasn't been acknowledged as yet. So this is the process of feeling and then thinking, feeling and then thinking. So that's what we were discussing. And hopefully through that, we can help through the understanding of your emotions and the understanding of the ways that you're thinking, then be more confident to then express yourself. Otherwise, you're always going to be stuck in the mind, or you're going to be suppressing some sort of emotion.
Yeah. And so we want to say that it's important you acknowledge that you feel bad about guilt or your privilege or all of that. And instead of feeling bad for too long, I'm like gratitude. I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful I have clean running water. Wow, I'm so grateful that my children are not getting beat up by police because of the color of their skin. As opposed to, I've seen many of the ladies that I follow on Instagram, the Black women are like, when you do a post about how sorry and sad you are and how your heart's breaking and how you as a white person or a person that's not Black it's me. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going through so much. I'm so exhausted. I don't know. You're really not acknowledging the movement or acknowledging what they're going through. And it's like you talking to your best friend who lost her mother. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can imagine how that is. I know when I lost my mother, and it's like your friend lost her mother and you're with yourself. Make sense? It's that kind of example. And so right now it's like, and Belle, thank you for the comment that said, I've seen so many posts from friends saying they don't want to get it wrong by talking about Black Lives Matter and anti-racism. And what I would love to invite you all to think, if somebody was beating someone up in front of you and there was a way to jump into it, one right way, but you didn't know it, would you stay frozen and watch it and go, fuck, I wish I knew the right way? No. If somebody beat a child in front of you, if somebody did something, whatever your value is, a dog, a person, a child, your mother, someone you love, put whatever thing you need to put for this example, would you allow that to happen because you didn't know the right way? No, of course not. And so this is no different, and I'm going to talk about fear and caring what people think and getting attacked and trolled. I'm going to talk about that because that's very important. And I think that's the biggest thing online is that we're scared that someone's going to say something and we're going to look like a terrible person. But initially, when we talk about this, of you seeing an injustice happening, whether it's in front of you, whether it's on the internet, whether it's hearsay or whatever it is, you've seen it on the media, what I want us to know is that we can't get it wrong. You genuinely can't get it wrong. And if you know, and I say this a lot to the ladies that work with me, if you know that in your heart and soul, you are congruent as fuck, and you're like, nah, I'm here and I'm being kind and I'm doing this with the love of my heart, and you say whatever you say and it's wrong and someone has something to say to you, daring greatly, you're in the arena and they're pointing at you from the sidelines, awesome. I'm in the fucking arena, y'all. Like, I'm in here trying and adding, and I don't need to prove shit to anyone. And so I want you to know that the guilt and the fear stops us. And guilt and shame are the lowest vibrational frequency that you can ever live in. It's very self-indulgent. It's very self-pity. It's very I-focused. We need to move away from the guilt and the pity and the shame and move into, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what the fuck to say. But I'm not cool with what's going on. And I want everybody to know that I want to help however I can. Like, that is so honest. That is so honest and beautiful to go, I don't actually know if I'm supposed to say black or person of color or brown or what do I say, but I'm going to say this. And then guess what? Do some fucking research, do some research. Go, I want to do this post because that's also irresponsible to go, how do I say it? What do I say? I remember asking Angel, my friend Angel, like, what does binary mean? What does cis mean? I don't understand what this transgender and then this and that. Like, I don't understand. Like, literally like a child. Like, can you explain it to me? I don't understand. And she explained it to me, but she could have been like, no, bitch, research. And that would have been okay as well, because I need to do the homework if I want to be inclusive. And you guys know, if you do work with me as well, like, also, I don't try to get it right every time. I'm like, I'm here to help women. I don't say anybody identifying as a woman all the time. And that's okay too for me, because it's like, I'm not purposefully trying to be offensive. And if somebody gets offended, I get to have that conversation with them and say, hey, that wasn't my intention. And they get to think what they want to think about me. They could leave the room thinking I'm horrible. Are they right? Am I right? Who's right? Whoever wants to be right. I don't need to prove them wrong. And so I want you to feel like in this movement, you don't need to prove anybody wrong. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to try to prove them that you're a good human and you're not racist. Like, it's not about what people are thinking about you. It's you at home by yourself going, fuck, I didn't do anything. Shit, I can say something. I can sign a petition. I can donate. I can share with my audience of mostly white people that, hey guys, we need to all come together here. It's part of your problem as well. Like, that will do so much. It's like the little acts of kindness that we think aren't a big deal, and they're huge. It's huge. So less fear, more courage, less guilt, more speaking up, more standing out. And I would love to hear from you guys, anybody out there who's listening or who is on either end of this, that's reaching out and is speaking, or someone who's not. Like, why do we think it's important that we speak up? Why do we think it's important right now that we gain the confidence to speak up and speak out? like anybody want to speak or anybody want to type in here? Why do we think it's important? I would actually love if I could hear from Miss Lena, because I think Lena's here. Lena, do you mind if I put you on?
I first want to acknowledge you so much for putting this together and for having such a beautiful, safe space. Well, because like you were just saying, you know, there are so many people afraid to talk. And I think in a space like this where, you know, it's just a safe container and everybody's able to voice their thoughts with your guidance, I think it's so beautiful just to come together.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you. And thank you, Alex, for being here as well.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn up the volume.
Do you want me to share about anything in specific or just my thoughts in general?
Yeah, like why do you think it's really important, you know, that you have a business. So Lena is a great friend. She's been on the podcast and she's got an amazing business. She lives in South America. Like, you know, you've been really vocal, and you mentioned too, like a lot of people, because she does a lot of work in America. So the business coaches in America, and people are getting slammed online right now, and good, because they have a big platform. And so as a business person, as a South American, as a woman, like, how do you feel that this is the time for us to speak out, why it's important?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. There's so many things that are happening, and we've talked a little bit about this behind the scenes, but I think the first thing is just going off of what you were saying is using our platforms and our voice in whatever way we can. And I think this is calling us to step into our leadership, whether it be inside our own homes, whether it be just with the circle that you have around you, your children. And if you have any sort of platforms on social media, that's another great place to start. And then from there, hopefully we start taking also actions as a society and inside our own lives that also contribute to this movement and create some lasting change. So I love what you were saying about justice, because I also think this is making us, a way that I was looking at this is also, this is an invitation to look at what values are we operating from, right? So a lot of people, unfortunately, and maybe this is an opportunity if you haven't thought about this, we just navigate through life really not thinking about what our values are. Sometimes people think that you just need values when you have a company or a big organization, but we also have values at the individual level, even if we're not aware. So I also think it's an invitation to look as an individual inside of ourselves and ask ourselves, where am I really operating from? Am I clear? Do I have, I like to call that like our internal compass, our values. So if you have no idea what your compass looks like, you might just be going anywhere, right? You're not really clear how you're operating in the world. And so this is an invitation to look at your values, like you were saying, is justice, diversity, inclusivity. These are all very relevant to this moment right now. Integrity, honesty, transparency, whatever your values are, is just revisit them and ask yourself if you're externally also operating from that place in integrity with yourself and what you believe in. And from there we have more conscious action. And so I believe, like, as a society, we were operating in such an unconscious way. Yeah. Or maybe also in a way that was a lot dictated by our experiences, the environment that we grew up in. And so very detached and without empathy for other people who are living in other places and under other circumstances. And so in a great way, I also see this as an awakening, like you were saying, opening our awareness to seeing the reality for other people, if we are not people of color, if we're not Black or African American or Indigenous people. Because like I'm considered a person of color, but I have never, and I can't even imagine what a Black person has gone through, because it's totally different. I'm a totally different group. And so now we're getting to see all of these videos, all of these information that's coming out, and it's a great opportunity to open our eyes, to become aware, to learn and educate ourselves, and then so important to step into action. Whatever you can do. If you can't donate, there's other ways you can contribute back. Yeah. Even just using your voice. This is so important. So this is why I love your message so much, Erica, because it's just, even your voice can make such a difference. So if you're willing to put yourself out there, be brave, and just share from a genuine place, and impact the few people that you can, or however big your community is, or your audience, that in itself will start creating a ripple effect, and we can all contribute to that effect. Even if we can't contribute monetarily, that's the best contribution we can have at the human and individual level that will contribute to the collective level.
I love you.
So good.
So good. So good, Lena. Thank you so much. Gracias. Alex, thank you. You're the best. Yeah. So I love too, because Lena has a business, she has a lot of partners and people that she works with. And, really, Lena, you're definitely one of the people in my group that I look up to, because everything you do is, like you said, your values are in everything. So I know that as a human, as a person, as a business, as a partner, as a dog owner, as a friend, as a daughter, like, this is who you are. And so if you feel like shit, I haven't been inclusive. I haven't been inclusive in my business. I haven't been inclusive in hiring, Black people or people of color. I haven't been inclusive in following them on Instagram or knowing what's going on in other communities besides my own. This is the time and the opportunity to do so. And so how to, constructively and consistently join the conversation so that it's not a hype thing, because I personally feel, we were talking, this shit ain't going away. This is the beginning.
It shouldn't go away.
Yeah, and it shouldn't go away. But I feel like, as in, you're going to be seeing these things. And as Will Smith said, racism has always existed. It's just being filmed now. Like, it's now being filmed. And thank goodness for the internet, And this has been the first week for me that I've felt like, holy shit, Instagram's, whoa, too much. I've never felt that. I never felt that during COVID. I've never felt Instagram's too much. But this week I even felt like, oh my gosh, because as Hamish said in the beginning, if you're going to be an ally and you're going to be here and you're going to be doing this, you also need to look after yourself, because you can't burn yourself martyrdom to the ground and then you're not useful. And I would love for this to be a continuation. And so we want to give you some things that you could do. And I don't have all the answers at all. This is not your one-stop shop. Please don't make it that. Yeah, Instagram is a lot, Natasha. I feel you. But as you said, Lena, if you have 50 followers or 5, especially if you're not Black and you're not a person of color, imagine what you can do with those 5 people. You can be like the light. You can be the example. You can go first. Like, that's actually, if you want to know for real, what's going to change this.
Yeah.
That's actually what's going to change it. Yes, what we do at home. Yes, talking to our kids. But like Gemma was saying, or Gabby, speaking to your friends, Vicky, speaking to your friends that don't understand and don't know. And it, like, you guys, I love you, but it's fucking not good enough to be like, I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to say shit. Like, it's not going to help. The silence is murder. Like, the silence, like, I'm not saying you're a murderer, but silence is murder. Silence is like, I'm okay with what's happening. And if you're not okay, you have got to be like, I'm not okay with this. I don't know what to do. I'm trying my best. Here's what I found. If you're interested, and don't worry about your Instagram becoming an activism Instagram. Yes, you can get back to sharing your photography. Yes, you can get back to your life. Of course you can. But right now, while there's massive momentum going on globally, this is a beautiful opportunity to join and add to the snowball so that people everywhere start getting involved. And so these petitions that have timelines that need to be signed by a certain date for the governments, get your signature so that, the donations that need to be done for right now, get the $5, literally $5, like whatever you can give.
And like Lena was saying, if it's your value, if these are your values, and you see things that are of injustice around you, what better platform than to use your Instagram, no matter how big or how small, and whether you have a business or not, to show who you really are. Like, if these values are important to you, then what a great way for you to display that through your Instagram. Because for nowadays, you are your business, you are your career. It's not like it's 2 separate parts now, it's one thing. So, like Lena was saying, we have company missions, company values. It's like, but usually those values have been developed from the company owner as well. They've been put into the company, and it's the DNA. So whatever we create in our world, whether it's a family, whether it's a career, whether it's a business, they need to have the essence of our values and who we are in it. And often, and I do this work with guys, often we're at conflicts with ourselves when we're at conflicts with our own value. That's the pain that we're feeling, is because we know that something is wrong, or we feel like this is a value and this is right for us, yet our actions are not in alignment with that. And then we feel that. That's the guilt, that's the pain, that's the internal suffering or dialogue or conflict that's going on, is because you're not in alignment. I do this exercise with many men, and it's like, let's have a look at your values. And then I get them to rate themselves out of 10 about how much are they enacting those values in their lives. And no one has ever said 10 out of 10. Everyone's like, look, I'm a 5 or I'm a 6 or I'm an 8 or a 9, but no one's ever 100%. And these are the things that you hold most dear to your heart, the things that you stand for. So if your values are in it and it's not being expressed through your channels, or it's not being expressed into your family or your community, then there's an internal conflict with you. And that's what we need to address.
Yes. And that's the incongruency. And so I have a post that I've been writing because I don't want to scare anybody into this. Does that make sense? I don't want you to feel unsafe with me. I don't want to be like, you, Gab, what the fuck? Where you at? Why you ain't doing this shit? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to do it. You get to do it how you want to. Everybody does. And that's the beauty of how different humans are. I want to do it as in, hey, if you want to do it, here's some ways that you could. And you kind of need to. And if you're in social impact, you're fucking for sure, I'm going to be doing that. Like, yo, get your ass on Instagram. Because business and society and Instagram and social media and these platforms, this is how we've made change. This is how we got that guy arrested. We got that guy arrested who murdered George Floyd. It was not the police going to do that. It was not the government going to do that. It was not the mayor going to do, like, that was people who signed and called from all over the world. Like humans did that. That gives me so much hope. And I hope it gives you hope because you can make a difference. Little old me who lives in Melbourne, what can I do? Everything. You can do everything if you can be fucked to get on and sign a thing or whatever. So it's extremely important that we do this and that we come together in this time. And even if you don't know how. And so we want to give you some things to do. And like I said, I'm not the end all be all. For me in Australia, if you live in Australia, there's a lot of work to be done in our own backyard. Honestly, if Australia was America, there would be riots everywhere. We'd be more outraged because here the injustice is full on and no one's done anything about it. And we have like secret racism. Like, no, we're not racist. And it was super racist here in Australia. So it's like classy racism. Like they're just pretending that we're not racist. And so I think the work to be done here, if you're interested, is looking at the Aboriginal, the First Nations, looking at the art, looking at what they're doing. There's a woman, Dixie Crawford, who I shared on my Instagram. And you know what I'm going to do? When we finish here, I'm going to put a link on my Instagram bio. And if you're interested, you can email me, whatever, but I'll send it to you. And it's got a lot of stuff there. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I don't even do that. I don't acknowledge the country at my sisterhood events. Do you know I don't even know how to say it? So I would love... Okay, good. I don't even know how to say it. We have live events here on the land and I don't even know how to say it, which is bullshit. So done. Thank you, Gemma, for calling me out. We're doing it. So anyway, so this woman, Dixie Crawford, is running a workshop online to learn about Aboriginals, to learn about what that means, to learn about it. And I'm like, yep, I'm paying money and I'm going to watch it and I'm going to share it we're going to watch it together. We're going to tell our kids about it. There's a woman in America who I shared her masterclass similar to this. She's a Black woman in America and she's doing this to help people know. And she can do, like, I don't know, I'm not Black, but I'm just like, what can we do? I'm confidence and I want to teach you that. So like you can go and find these people. And if you don't know how to find them, you can go to my Instagram because I'm sharing and I'm doing the links and all of that. So you can go level up and learn. There's a lot of books as well in this link that I send you. There's a lot of resources for books to read or audio books to listen to, even books for children that you can start teaching your kids. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Effie. Also, like they said, donate. Like Lena was like, you could donate. If you don't have the funds to donate, you can sign a free petition. You know, something that I've done this week that's really helped me is follow people on Instagram, accounts that I didn't know anything about so that they could teach me. And I've donated to people's PayPal just because their Instagram educated me so much that I was like, thank you, little donation, $10, whatever, $50, $100, whatever you can do. And I think the biggest thing that all of us can do yesterday, is share on in public with your family or your friends, on your social media platforms. If you have an email list, you can email your list and say, hey, everyone, you know, I knew nothing about this, or I'm now getting involved in this, would love your feedback, whatever. If you have a community like we do, our Facebook group, everywhere, like wherever you can reach a human, you can completely share and talk about this. TikTok is great for cultural knowledge as well. Really? Wow. Okay, cool. TikTok. Yeah. And so it's Creative Spirits, Great Indigenous Knowledge website. Thank you so much, Gab.
That's cool.
So please, if you know things and if you want to add to it and just link it here, but like basically the answer isn't, I don't know. I just don't know enough. You know, we get resourceful. A lot of us don't know and we're finding out. And a lot of us, if you like, again, if your value is you want to be helpful, if your value is integrity, if any of you on the call right now or watching the replay, your value is integrity or authenticity or doing the right thing, please know that that equals uncomfortable as fuckness, like super uncomfortable. Basically, integrity is not comfortable because that means that your best friend or your mother or somebody that you love violates your integrity and you say, hey, that's not okay. That's not comfortable. Integrity cannot be comfortable. Integrity can't equal comfort because then it wouldn't be integrity. Integrity is what feels right to you and when doing the right thing.
Irrespective.
Yeah, irrespective. So it's really important to know that this is not going to be comfortable and it shouldn't feel easy and comfortable. But if we do nothing, like how Tash was saying that she felt overwhelmed with Instagram, maybe Instagram's overwhelming. Maybe don't go on it for reading stuff if you feel overwhelmed, but come back to it. Maybe go to Facebook, maybe do a blog or write something. Like find a way for you to express your voice because it matters how you feel. It does. And we don't want you to burn out. But if you go, this is too hard, I'm not going to do it. Like losing weight is too hard. I'm just going to keep eating shit. I'm just not going to the gym, but I'm going to keep complaining about my weight. But I do shit. Like you're going to become obese. And what's going to happen? You actually have to decide the hard work is to stop eating the bad food and go to the gym. Like you can't just ignore that. You can't ignore your health. You can't ignore this because this doesn't get better with us ignoring it. It gets better with us speaking up. Yes. Also, we talked about trolls and we talked about, so basically, you know what to do. Get on, find things, Zoom, like Google, Instagram, bios, swipe up, find people, register for things. I don't have all the answers, but what I want to do is empower you to start looking.
So educate yourself is number one.
Educate yourself, number one.
Yeah.
And with education, there's many things. There's many things there. Number two, like the tokenism, like about it being cool, or being like a trend, which I'm not saying anybody here is doing that, but just watch that as well. Because if it's one black square and you're back to business as usual, trying to sell your yoga pants, and the post before that was you trying to sell your yoga pants, it's like, it's something that you do. It's not who you are. So right now my fitness is fucked up. I'm going to start to do healthy fitness. And after 3 months of me doing it, it's who I become. It's now a part of who I am. And so I want to invite you to start thinking about, is it something you're doing? And if it's something you're doing, how can you become that? How can you become the value of justice? How can you look at your company and go, how can we make it more? How can we say, yeah, Gemma, we need to, thank the land and talk about the Aboriginal people before we start an event. Yeah. Yep, that's coming into the threads of the business. Our business is diverse, but how can it be more diverse? What else can we do? What else can we do? And that's the question, right? What else can we do? I'm reducing my time on stage, but educating myself. Amazing. Yeah. Educate yourself. And let me tell you something. It shouldn't be comfortable. That's the privilege. I am fucked, you guys. I've never had bags under my eyes like this, ever. I can't sleep. Like my sleep is fucked. I wish I could show you my app. My sleep app is all messed up. Like I feel like am I bleeding? Do I have my period? I'm like fucking emotional and I'm having surgery on Wednesday. So I have every right. And my podcast just hit 500,000 downloads. I should be celebrating my podcast. I should be talking about my surgery. I should be documenting this. And people are asking me, are you going to talk about this? I'm like, no, I'm fucking talking about this. There is a movement going on and I want to head it with you. I want to walk with you. Black people, I'm with you. People of color, I'm with you. To my white brothers and sisters, I'm with you. Let's do this. We need all hands on deck. So also though, Tash, I have surgery on Wednesday. So today I'm rallying. Today I'm doing this. And then I'm going to say, I know that I did a lot. And I'm going to sit on my bed and get my titties out and do the thing. And I'll be on my phone again, while I'm recovering, they're so heavy. Whew.
You better be recovering.
Yeah, I'll be recovering, I promise. But with you know what I'm saying? So you have to know thyself. You take your breaks and things, but I'm not going to tell you I'm taking a break because I'm so tired of doing this. I'm not going to say that shit on my Instagram. I'm talking to you about it because we're sharing this in a safe space. But I'm like, this ain't ending. We're doing this. This is who I am. This is what we're talking. And you guys know I love talking about child sex trafficking because it's so yucky and no one wants to talk about it. And that hasn't stopped. What Black Lives Matter means that stopped? No, it didn't. Black Lives Matter, and that matters, and this matters, and injustice matters. Everybody to me matters. The things that matter to me all the time. And so it's finding your balance as to how you can share things, still keep yourself, look after and protect yourself, but don't numb out of this. Don't run away from this. Don't numb out, because your little old voice, we need you. Even if you think you're nothing, even if you think no one's listening to you. And if somebody has something to say, that, right? Like, fuck what others think, forget what others think, fucking waste of time, whatever you want to call it. I don't care who comments on your shit, unless you said something wrong and you're like, oh shit, thank you, person, I'll fix it. If somebody has a trolling and they're fighting with you and they want to say shit to you, like you're doing too much, you're not doing enough, you said it wrong, you said it right, fuck it, they're always going to say something. At the end of the day, when you put your head on that fucking pillow or wherever you sleep, you go, I'm a good person and I did the best I could. Yeah, yes. Or do you go, fuck, I'm hiding, I haven't said shit. Fuck, am I going to get it wrong? That's your own, like Hamish said, your own incongruencies. That's your own demons to battle with. I will go to sleep at night like, yep, I'm fighting this. I'm fucking saying I'm doing everything I can. And I still think I can do more. And I know I can without burning myself out. I know there's more that we can do. And for me, it's Australia, because I know nothing about the land and I know nothing about its people. And I make money in this country and I live here and I call this home. You need to fucking learn. I need to learn. So I'm committed to that. And so I want you to think about that people will always say something and you have a choice. Do you engage in a fight with someone? And who's engaging in that fight? Is it you or is it your ego? And what part of you is choosing to engage in a fight? And really, when you start looking at people and I don't want to say spirituality, but when you start looking at people and consciousness, what part of them is fighting with you? Is it really them? Or is it their insecurities or their upsets or their trauma or their hurt child fighting with you? So just don't engage. I don't engage. I don't delete people's shit. I just don't talk about. I'm like, I know who I am. Like, I know who I am. I don't need to prove shit to anybody. And so that's really the thing. The single bee is ignored when millions come together. Even
I think that's important. Like, if you get it wrong.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are worried about that.
Yes, 100%.
And if I can just add my 2 cents.
Yes,
like,
please.
I think the whole idea of like getting it wrong, it leads a little bit to our egos. Yeah, it leads us a little bit to us not being wrong, because we either want to be seen as doing the right thing, or we like to see ourselves as always doing good or doing the right thing. And sometimes to be called out or to do something wrong is to make a mistake. And I think we have to let go of that and accept that we do get things wrong. We all do. And even if someone is pointing the finger at you saying you did that wrong, sometimes it's easier to just accept if you've done something wrong. I did it wrong. That's okay. It's okay to get it wrong. The problem is in when you defend that and go, oh no, I didn't, and you don't understand me. Sometimes it's okay to go, you know what? I admit I had it wrong. I said something wrong, and I want to acknowledge that and apologize. That speaks more for people's character than trying to come back and rebuttal and to justify what you've said. We all get things wrong. And, often we'll have this in traffic where people are angry because you cut them off, and, it's a simple analogy, but, I go, cool. Yeah, I did something wrong. If I didn't know you were there, I cut you off. I did something wrong. I acknowledge that. I've also been on the other side of it where I've seen someone else done wrong to me. So it works both ways. We've been wronged and we've been wrong before.
Everybody, yeah.
So it's part of being human. And I think what happens is the conflict starts up when we don't lower our guard or we don't lower our ego and admit, we get things wrong sometimes. We all do. I think sometimes it makes me think about going back to children and how we raise children, or maybe how we were raised not to get things wrong. Oh, if you're wrong, you're bad. You're bad. But that's sometimes the wrong way to take it. Like if we get something wrong, it's an opportunity to learn. And I think that's what we need to look at. I think maybe this is sometimes the fear of it. If I put something out there that's wrong and someone comes back and says something to me,
I'm bad, or
I've done something wrong, and it attacks our self-worth, when really we'd be like, oh, awesome. Okay. I was wrong. This is an opportunity for me to grow, for me to level up, to me to learn something new. We're constantly changing and evolving. And so I think we need to change the way we look at the word wrong and just look at it a way of putting it out there just to get it right. Like Erica's really big on, I'm going to put it out there, and then once it's out there, then we can have the discussion. It's like riding a bike. Like, just get on. You're going to fall off.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you never get on the bike. You always have to keep practicing.
But as Gab said, like, maybe Google how to ride a bike before you get on it.
For sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, YouTube video on how to get on a bike.
Which is what we just talked about. Yeah. We talked about educating yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 100% educate yourself. But if you're still worried about getting it wrong, there is a point where you just got to be like, okay, let me just put it out there. If I get it wrong, then I'm going to learn something from that. And I think where people get frustrated or get angry is when you try to defend and pretend that you weren't wrong. Yeah. And it's okay to go, okay, I was wrong.
Defensive. Like the defense is not helpful.
That's when people go, well, you got it wrong. It's okay to admit that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to that.
Yeah, it's important. And I think I've seen a lot of Black women that I follow doing posts about don't try to be perfect. We know you're not perfect, just do something. And like, I'm like, fuck, it makes me want to cry. Like, I'm like, thank you for like how beautiful that they're like, hey, you can't get it wrong. You can't get Black Lives Matter wrong. We see you helping us as an ally. Thank you. We need your help. And it's so sad that we even have to talk about this because it's like, what? But we do, right? And so it's like, I think it's important to understand and think about and learn how you're saying things and what you're saying. And even if you can in your videos, or I love video because people can feel you and really hear you. Text sometimes for me, I don't like text as much, but whatever you like, if you say like, I don't even know if this is right, but this is what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And what I'm trying to do is this. And here's where my heart's at.
This is my intention.
It's my intention.
My intention is to get across how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's really levels of communication, really, isn't it, what we're talking about? Because we're not communicating well, or we don't know how to communicate. Me and Erica also do couples coaching.
Yeah.
And the number one failure of relationships is a breakdown in communication. People think it's financial.
That's why people divorce.
They divorce because of a breakdown of communication. So I think we all need to take a step back and have a lesson in communication, and that this communication is this two-way back and forth understanding. And you know that when you're in communication, if I want to get a point across and I go, well, you did this and you made me feel this way, that often puts the other person to be very defensive. And so we can break down those barriers of defensing when we can admit that, when you did this, it made me feel like this. It's taking acknowledgement for the way that you feel and for the behaviors that you have had, as opposed to, I'm going to keep pointing the finger at you.
Yeah.
And so it's about opening these levels of communication to go, okay, cool. And to sit there and to listen and to understand and then to respond, but not always to respond with a defensive, oh yeah, but you don't understand. And yeah, but you did this and that you did this. And we're not actually getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think this is really about how we can communicate better. And one of my mentors was like, you've got 2 ears and one mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you speak. And sometimes we need to kind of do that. We need to listen harder, really listen, not listen with a response. Listen, take it in. Let me listen to you. And I guess what we're saying is be present. We're trying to be present with it so that once we can hear it and take it in and understand it, then we can have a response based on what we've heard, not based on what we want to say next, which I think is where sometimes the conversation gets lost.
Yeah. That's so good. And obviously everybody's going to disagree. Like, we're all different humans with different backgrounds, with different upbringings, with different beliefs and values. And so it is normal that people will not agree with everything you have to say. And it is normal that you have a different way of seeing things. We saw it with COVID. Right? We see it in America with presidential stuff and things going on here in Australia. Like, we see this. So I think the defense is optional, just like I believe the guilt is optional. I think the awareness is really where we need to sit. And I think that the aligned action, once we know who we are and what we want to contribute and how much we can. And for some of you message me and we're like, I don't really like to protest. I don't really like rallies. I don't want to bring my kids. Like, you got to know yourself, like, it might not be that for you. And that doesn't mean anything. It means that that's not your outlet. You may write poetry and you might not even share it on Instagram, but that's your outlet. Like, it's not about showing it and being social, but if you have a business or you have an influence or a following, you have the opportunity to actually change the world by messaging and speaking out and sharing what it is that you're doing to add to this movement. Gemma saying, what I find infuriating is that we know what happens when inequality plays out. The movie Avatar is the blueprint for what happens when people are not treated equally. We watch the movies, we can see the inequality around us, but we're all a part of the system and it's fucked. Yes. Yeah, it's fucked. But also, how great that it's fucked because we can fix it. Like, how great that, kids are hungry because then we can create foundations and feed them. Like, there's also this beautiful part of this. Like, this year is crazy, but I think it's been the best year that humanity has had. Like, the best year, because we're really getting to strip back and see all of the inconsistencies and all of the injustices and all of the lies and shit with the politics and people and media. And wow, media has taken a beating this year. Like, we're really seeing the media for what it is by the news, TV, and so this is what it takes for us to evolve to the next level. And now that we are in this awakening, this reckoning, this time of doing something, the question's back to you. What are you going to do? And we cannot run away from this. We cannot lack confidence in this. You cannot get it wrong. And even if you get it wrong, as Hamish said, be willing to go, my bad, it was wrong. How beautiful is that? Like Gemma right now just said to me, hey, we don't do this at our live events. That was wrong for me. I could sit here and be like, oh my God, you're right. How many events did we do? Or I could be like, you know what? True. My bad. I'm doing that now. And when we finish here, I'll get educated, speak to my Aboriginal friends and be like, yo, help me out. How do we do this? How do we respectfully do this? And then we create that. And then it's done. Tick, done. It's not I'm sitting in guilt. Mm-hmm. So this is the movement, how we do it. It's like process, see, aware, cool, done. Next move. How do I have to fix it? Like, you fall down and you get up again and again and again, multiple times. And so I hope that this gives you a little bit of insight to go, you can't get it wrong. We need you. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. We need your voice. You can get involved and it will be helpful because we're changing the world, one person and one voice at a time. That we have to educate ourselves and do our research so that we're not offensive. And if we are, that we can not be defensive and say, I'm sorry, I did wrong. Cool. Not make it about us, but flip it back to now, how can we add and serve? And that we need to let go of what people are going to think about us, because there's no way we're going to get other people's opinions right. And integrity is uncomfortable. And speaking up is uncomfortable. And discomfort is where we grow. And that is what we all need right now, is some discomfort so that we can grow. Just be aware. You can't mess this up. We love you guys. We're so happy that you are here and that you're open to doing it. Find your voice. Don't avoid it, because honestly, and especially if you have a business, start talking to your team, start talking to your suppliers, start looking at your Instagram, start checking out your podcast, start looking at how you can integrate this. This is a great wake-up call for many. And I think I know it's going to be incredible and amazing as we move through this with more justice and more equality for everyone. It's a great time. I feel like it's a great time. What I would love to say as well, which we can end on this, is don't get bogged down. There's going to be a bit of, emotional drainage. This is not a happy-go-lucky topic. So expect that you're going to feel stressed and tired and it's full on. But that's like, I feel like that's part of our human experience. And also, that's not all there is. There's more. There's people doing things. There's amazing police officers. There's amazing people of color with police officers and Black people hugging and speaking. There's so much good. So don't let yourself get drained into the life is fucked up, the world's a bad place. That outlook and that belief system is not going to help you, and you're not going to help us. So if you can realize that it is heavy, and tap in and tap out when you need to, but do not tap out forever. Come back to it, and better than come back, make it a part of your life so that it integrates into you.
Yeah. And if I can just add, just to finish as well, I think my opinion or my understanding, the way I was looking at this, is that racism is really a product or a result of an unquestioned mind. Obviously, a lot of the work that I do is, and even Erica is we talk about going back and managing our mind. And you have to realize that our brains naturally want to distort, characterize, simplify the world that we live in. It wants to chunk it. It wants to, this equals that, that equals that. That's how our brain works, because there's so much information. And so often when that happens unconsciously, prejudices are born. So like, all Black people are this, all Asians are this, all brown people are this, all Latinas are this. So our brain loves to to gain an understanding of our world, simplify things. And by doing so, even though it's an amazing machine, it can build in these belief systems about a particular group of people. And if they're not checked, if you never go back and inquire, which is the Buddhist teaching, is always the suffering, begins in the mind. So if we take a moment at the individual level to go back into our own minds and really question these beliefs that we have about groups of people, question the beliefs we have about our neighbors, question the beliefs we have, and we do that work and we do that vigorously and we do that with our energy, we can start to understand that the world is not that simple and there's shades of gray everywhere. But if we let our unconscious mind rule us, then that's the world that we're seeing. And that's why we get caught off when things like this rise up. We're like, wow, I never thought it. I never saw it. So it's really about looking at our own ways, our own belief systems, inquiring our own minds so that we can see the world for what it really is, or for the reality that it really is. Because all of us included, are blinded by our own understandings and beliefs of the world. So that's where you can start. Everyone can start. Before you share, before you educate, look at your own belief systems and ideas about groups of people, because that's what separates us. And once you realize that and you go deeper into it, you really find out that we're all just one human race and one per people. We're not actually separated by anything. We might look different, we might have different cultures, and we can learn to love and respect that for what it is, as opposed to looking as that as something as different. And I always remember that movie, the bobsled team, the Jamaican bobsled team, Cool Runnings. And the guy said, because it was like, Jamaicans had come and there was to the bobsled, which is really weird, which is what, and the guy said, why do they look at us like that? And he said, turn to his friend, is because people always are afraid of what they don't understand. And I think that's the core of this. We're afraid of things and people that we don't understand. So once we can look into our minds and assess that, and we can go out there and try to understand each other and where other people are coming from and their perspective, that's how we build unity and how we come together and start to question the things that have been put into our own mind.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's really just looking at, is it appropriate? Are you being kind? Are you helpful? And even that, Vicky, right? You say a joke and it's a joke and you're a kind person and you're not racist, and you say a joke and it offends someone. And Tash, we talked about this in one of the sisterhood days, and you offend someone, then you need to apologize and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I was not like at all. I'm very sorry. I take responsibility. I won't do that again. And then you let it go. You don't leave going, I'm a horrible person. I can't believe, because in your heart, if your intention wasn't to be rude and you were joking and you just weren't educated, you need to educate yourself, not do that again. And that's it. It's like, oh shit, okay. Doesn't mean you're a horrible person and forever you're ruined and you're bad. Like what's going on with Marie Forleo? And if you don't know, maybe it's too heavy for you to look at, but big thing. And I see the beauty in it is she gets to learn. She gets to make a different decision. She gets to discuss and talk to her team, and she's massive. So for her to publicly apologize and for her to publicly learn this lesson and almost be the, the example, and go, guys, I fucked up and this is what I did and this is what I should have done and I'm sorry and not okay. Like she'll be able to make so much more change because of that happening. And if you have a business, the client that wants a refund, the angry customer that you turn into the raving fan by how you handle that angry customer and not getting defensive and going, you know what? Wow, I'm so sorry. Like this is da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a business, you know what I mean? Because I love when people get angry and they're unhappy, because it's an opportunity to really listen and hear them and adjust it and care for them. And then usually that person is referring all kinds of people. And it's similar. Like we just really need to listen right now. And so if we don't know, we need to know. We need to learn. We need to understand it. And we need to teach our children, because that is it. Like our kids, our grandkids, our godchildren, our nephews and nieces, we need to be educating them. And they only model what we do. They will not listen to what you say. They will model what you do.
And this is the whole point and purpose of this, isn't it? Like all of our ideals and our belief systems are passed on. It's almost genetics, so don't think that the work that you do for yourself is in isolation. As you learn and understand and change and evolve yourself, you have no choice but to affect the next generation, because of the people that you touch and the people that look up to you. They're going to take those beliefs. They're going to see you. And me and Erica always say, like, our kids never do what we say. They always copy what we do. So if you're an example of it, then, that's going to be followed through in the generations to come. I mean, you can see two children. They don't see color. That's something that's been learned. That's separation is taught. So what if we taught not to look at people as separate, but to look at people as one? Or what if we focus on how we're all unified, or the things that we have in common, rather than the things that are different? That will really change the way the next generation will be. And everybody has an opportunity to foster those kind of belief systems in the next generation.
Yeah. We love you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this. We acknowledge you and thank you. And like I said, I'm going to have a link in my bio. Hopefully you can get the information. If you're on my email list, you would have already got that link because I sent it out as well. And I just encourage you to do something productive with this information and make some moves, however that looks for you, and start learning and reading and researching. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Be kind to yourselves and to each other, and we will hopefully see you all very soon. Massive love.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you. Thanks, honey.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your ears, your time, your energy, and your attention. Please do me a favor and head over to Apple iTunes, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, share this episode with a sister who you know needs to hear it. And if you feel called to, leave me a review. I'd love to know what you think about the podcast. I'd love to know how this information is helping you change your world. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there are many podcasts you could listen to, and I really appreciate you listening to mine. Have a gorgeous week, honey.